How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, first things people are going to notice is the new Oldham Athletic shirt. For those that don't know, Oldham Athletic are my football team I've supported since I was a kid. You can see it there. And this is the new away shirt that's just come out this morning. The home shirt is there. The new home shirt and stuff is there. Lovell Soccer. We're sponsored by an American company, so hence the soccer. Because obviously people might look and think, like, I've been getting some funny looks in Asda, people looking like what team's that and stuff, right? Because obviously Oldham away shirts, we've had black, we've had tangerine, we've even had green, right? White it's a new colour, it's white and grey. Love the shirt and stuff. Anyway, moving from that, this video is about a time I was stitched up, right? And it's actually relevant to my football team, right? Now, like I said, I've supported Oldham Athletics since I was a kid. I was raised by my stepdad, supporting them, still support them to this day. Just gone and wasted 80 quid, well, not wasted, but gone and spent 80 quid on the home and away shirt, right, for the new season, kicking off in League Two. Anyway, a few years ago, we appointed a manager called Darren Kelly. Right. Now, Darren Kelly I think he's Northern Irish, and I think he's from like around Derry. And there was a lot of controversy because when he was appointed, he'd called Martin McGuinness, the former leader of Sinn Féin, a legend. Now, obviously, that didn't go down very well because obviously Sinn Féin, IRA, terrorist organisation and stuff that used to obviously bomb they tried to kill Margaret Thatcher and obviously British soldiers and car bombs and just blowing, Warrington was blown up, Manchester was blown up and stuff like that. So he called Martin McGuinness, the obviously the former leader of Sinn Féin, a legend. Right now, it didn't sit very well with me, and it definitely didn't sit very well with Oldham Athletic fans up and down the country. Right, so I, being me, set up an Oldham Athletic group calling for Oldham Athletic, my football team, to sack Darren Kelly, just being appointed. And it gained, there's quite a lot of followers and stuff to the actual page and everything. And as the head of the page and stuff, right, I put two administrators on the page with me and stuff, two guys that were Oldham Athletic fans. Anyway, cut a long story short, right, I was going ballistic. I was putting tweets out, calling for the club to sack him, boycott the club, all this sort of stuff, right, because he was obviously supporting, calling Martin McGuinness a legend, right. It didn't sit well with me. For me, there's no room for politics in football. And like I say, I'm no stranger to controversy and everything myself. Anyway, I was just calling for the club to sack him and boycott him and stuff and hit the club in the pocket with the fact that then hopefully they'd sack him. Anyway, I fast forward, right, I was in bed. This was a few years ago. I was in bed and the door was going, right, and I was it was 3 o'clock in the morning, so I knew it was the police, right, because obviously no one else comes at that time. So it was early hours of the morning, right, and there was banging and there was banging and there was banging and there was banging and banging. They obviously didn't have a warrant because otherwise they would have forced entry. And then I went back to sleep, right, and then they came back about an hour later, bam, 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 and I was like, oh my God. Right, so they come back again. When they left, right, after about half an hour of trying to get in, right, they left, right. As soon as they left, I got a taxi and I was out of the area, right. I wanted to know what they wanted to speak to me about. Anyway, fast forward, I spoke to my solicitor. My solicitor spoke to the officers in the case, right, and then it came apparent that two other lads that were the admins on the Facebook page calling for the club to sack him, right, their houses had been raided and they'd been arrested. And I was like, we did everything within the confines of the law. We didn't break the law. There was no threats issued or anything like that because obviously we're not stupid. Anyway, they wanted to speak to me because what had happened is somebody had sent a very dangerous and very threatening letter to the football club, threatening the club, the board, the directors, and specifically the manager. And I was like, what's all this about? So I found out these two other admins had been arrested. I was outstanding. The police wanted me because they wanted to arrest me to speak to me. So I spoke to my solicitor, and my solicitor spoke to the police. The police said, right, we want to speak to him about threats to kill. And I was like, oh my God, I thought, what the fucking hell is going on here, right? Anyway, so the cop had told my solicitor that someone had sent a stenciled letter to my football club threatening the board, the manager, and the director, and the manager, Darren Kelly, right? And saying that serious harm was going to come to them. What someone had done is wrote my name on the back of the envelope, right? Now, I was like absolutely clueless. Someone was trying to stitch me up, right? And I know who it was. It was the people that had put me in prison previously, because they tried to get me done in about 3 or 4 times, right? And by shit stirring and trying to cause trouble for me, right? And this was another thing. They tried to get me arrested and get put in prison, right? So I then went to the police station, surrendered. During interview and stuff, in disclosure, all I was told is there was a stenciled letter that had been sent to the club. The stencil was too big for the envelope, so the person had wrote by hand the football club and stuff and put my name on the back, right? So obviously they wanted to speak to me. Now, who would the fucking hell would send a threatening letter, put the name and use their own handwriting on the front of the envelope when the police have got calligraphists that can work, handwriting specialists and stuff? Anyway, I had to speak in interview because I was forced to, because if I would have gone no comment or refused to give handwriting samples, the police could have charged me and remanded me to prison, right? So I told the police, look, there's people out there that had put me in prison, trying to get me done in, and I said, I believe they're behind this threatening letter, right? There was police informers, guys, right? I had to talk. Anyway, in the interview, the police showed the stenciled letter, which was very threatening, and they also showed the envelope, right? Now, the handwriting wasn't mine because, like I say, it wasn't mine and it wasn't the two other lads that was arrested. So I give handwriting samples, right? They'd been released on bail. I was outstanding for a few days and then I submitted myself to the police and was questioned and stuff, right? So I did interview. I give handwriting samples. I had to write Oldham Athletic 10 times. I had to write the address 10 times. And it was quite clear that the handwriting wasn't mine, and I had not sent the letter because there was nothing to tie me to the letter because it wasn't me. I wouldn't be that fucking stupid, guys. Someone was trying to stitch me up, right? So anyway, I was in the police station for like several hours, and then we'd done the interview, and then my solicitor said to the police, oh, what's the case now? Because it's obviously the handwriting samples are not his. What's going to happen? And they said, oh, yeah, he'll be out of here within an hour, right? Fucking I think it was 18 hours later, right? I was still there. I was 5 minutes away from my 24 hours. For those that don't know, here in the UK, unless it's exceptional circumstances, murder, attempted murder, things like that, you've got 24 hours to arrest you, question you, and charge you, bail you, or no further action you, right? So I had 5 minutes, so they had to decide, are we going to charge him? Are we going to bail him? Are we going to no further action him? Etc., etc. So I did the handwriting samples. They sent it off to a specialist overnight. They were trying to keep me in the police station so they could charge me because the police like to stitch people up. But the handwriting samples clearly weren't mine. They had no other option than to bail me, right? They bailed me, guys. The bail conditions I had were absolutely ridiculous, guys, right? I wasn't allowed into the Oldham Metropolitan Borough area, which is, just have a look at Oldham Metropolitan Borough, right? It's a fucking big place, man. I wasn't allowed into there. I wasn't allowed to go to Oldham Athletic home or away games. I wasn't allowed to contact directors, board members, manager, assistant manager, players or anything, right? I had to go to the police station every Monday and Friday between the hours of 10 a.m. and 12 noon. And if I didn't, they would have breached me and they could have remanded me into custody. I had to have a doorstep curfew between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. What else? I wasn't allowed to go to Oldham Athletic away or home games. I wasn't allowed to go into the Oldham Metropolitan Borough, which is a massive area. Like I say, just stupid amounts of things. Like I said, I wasn't allowed to go on any form of social media. I was banned from going on the internet because I wasn't allowed to use any form of social media, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, anything like that as well. So I think I could go on the internet, but I couldn't go on any form of social media. And all this crazy stuff, right? The doorstep curfew, the fucking having to go to the police station on a Monday and Friday, right? It was clear, right, from the handwriting samples that it was nothing to do with me, right? But they still treated me like a common criminal. And I was on the hook for, I think, 6-7 months. And I had to go, so 6-7 months I had to stick to this, right? My whole life was just like fucking annoying, right? If I was doing YouTube at that time, I wouldn't have been able to vlog because I wasn't allowed to use social media. Very, very annoying, guys, right? The fact that somebody could send a letter to a football club, right, put my name on the back and then the police arrest me and treat me like a scumbag and lie to my solicitor saying I'll be out within the hour, and then like 18 hours later I'm still in the police station and stuff, right? But eventually, like I said, they kept me on the hook. It was clear, I had a clear conscience. I knew it was nothing to do with me. It was these police informers, guys, that put us in prison previously. There's loads of things they've done, guys, loads of things which I've done, which I'll probably go into on other vlogs and stuff, right? These people put me in prison on a witness intimidation, said that I rang them for 20 seconds through a fake Irish accent. No corroborating evidence, no recording, and they had recording devices on the phone. They had recording apps on the phone. They had CCTV outside the house. There was no phone call. I was at home, right, and I ended up going to prison, right, for months, right, because somebody said I rang them and threatened them for 20 seconds. The police facilitated a false allegation, right, and I'm going to do a vlog on that as well, guys, because I find it I want you guys to know what goes on and stuff, right. Like I say, people will be like, well, how can you get arrested for that? Somebody sent the stenciled letter to my football club, put my name on the envelope, prime suspect number one. Eventually, the manager was sacked. I think a few months into his tenure as the manager, he was sacked, rightfully so. The charges against me were actually dropped and stuff. There was no further action, and rightfully so, because again, the handwriting samples proved that the letter wasn't me. It was malicious. Someone was trying to stitch me up, and the police tried to facilitate that as well, because they kept me in the cop shop. They knew from the handwriting samples straight away. They would have looked and thought, well, this is the letter, this is his handwriting, right? Because they stenciled the letter, but the stencil was too big for the envelope, right? And they arrested me, and like I say, my handwriting sample proved it wasn't me. They knew straight away, that writing, not him. They lied. They kept me in for 18 hours. They fast-tracked my my writing and stuff, my handwriting samples, to try to fuck me over, because they wanted to charge me, right? And they played the game, and I played the game for months and months and months, and then the charges were dropped, and I walked free. And like I say, absolutely ridiculous, guys. These people tried to affect my life, tried to put me in prison, did put me in prison, which then it doesn't just affect me when you go to prison, it affects my family and stuff. And it was all on a bullshit thing. The same thing, when I got done for the witness intimidation, they remanded me on voice recognition, but then they dropped the charges on voice recognition because, and I'm going to go into it on another vlog, but the judge ordered the police to investigate this family of police informers. The police didn't want to do that. So what did they do? They dropped the charges on moi. So that was that, guys. Anyway, so this is how I was stitched up and stuff like that. Once the charges were dropped and stuff, all the bail conditions and stuff were dropped. I had like 12, 15, I think I had 12 or 13, right? The alternative, if there was any more bail conditions, they could have just remanded me and stuff. But like I say, the handwriting samples proved different. Just had to play the game. Doorstep curfew, like I say, weren't allowed on social media. Had to report to the police station every Monday and Friday between the hours of 10 a.m. and 12 noon. Wasn't allowed into the Oldham Metropolitan Borough, which is a fucking big chunk, all the way from Saddleworth Moor to Oldham, Shaw, Grinnikers, Holt's Estate. Just fucking crazy shit. Chadderton. Just madness, guys. Absolute madness. But it goes on. Anyway, guys, on that note, I'm going to leave this video here because your boy is going to get ready for the game. Right? Got some beers in the fridge. Going to get some scran on the go. And then, obviously, going to watch the match. I'm not ignoring everybody. I've got a lot of messages to get through and stuff, and emails and stuff like that, and WhatsApps and stuff. So I'll get back to you guys in due course. I'm not being rude. I've not slept very well. Got up late. Had to go to Oldham to get my new shirt. Yeah, and just, like I say, just absolutely knackered. Not long been in. And like I say, put my shopping away. Got to put my washing up away. And then, bam, match is on. It's coming home, good boys and girls. It is coming home. England, Sweden. What do we say? And I reckon it's going to be 2-1 to Oldham. England even. Right, guys. On that note, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Speak to you all soon. Cody out.